Yo mama so fat. Yo dad is so black. Yo grandmama is so old. Those used to be the type of jokes that the kids would say, right? Those would be the jokes that they would say when they want to talk about you. They're going to go after your mama, your daddy, your grandmammy. They're going to go after everybody in your family. But times have progressed, and baby, now we have roast. We have roast. And the most recent roast that everybody is talking about, that has been up in arms, that is controversial about, is this Kevin Hart roast on Netflix. Now, I did have to watch it twice. I had to watch it twice because I did want to look at everything again, re-listen to everything, make sure I didn't miss nothing. And I did actually fall asleep the first time. It was kind of during the Rock's performance. I kind of missed, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know that Kevin had performed at the end. So when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, okay, all right. So after rewatching it and re-listening to the jokes, I was like, ooh, they really said that. Now, it's been controversial because some of the jokes were a little intense. They were a little extreme. They were a little on the racist side. They was crossing the lines, crossing the boundaries. But some people say, hey, that's a roast. What do you expect? We went hard on Flavor Flav. They say it's dark comedy. That's what you get with a roast. It's no holds barred. We talk about your mammy, your daddy, your baby, your husband that died. We talk about everybody. And that's what the hell they did. So some people liked it. They said, hey, it's all in the name of roast. It's all in the name of comedy. But some people felt like it went to the extreme. It crossed the line of being a roast and being comedy and was just down outright racist. Now, Dr. Umar came into the conversation and he said it was get back for Druski'S skit against Erika Kirk.
Kevin did well in Saudi Arabia because they thought he was the monkey from Aladdin. It ain't funny, Art. It ain't funny. This was not comedy, bro. This was a get back for Druski portraying Erika Kirk.
I was like, really? Because that didn't even pop into my mind. Erika Kirk was the furthest thing in my mind when I was watching this roast. So I had to sit back and I was like, is that what it was? Because now, see, we did have that little stint with Jake talking about he was going to come out and do blackface in honor of Erika. He was going to get back for Erika and do the blackface. And we still waiting on that. That ain't happened yet. But Dr. Umar feels like they said, hey, Jake, the people over at Netflix said, hey, we got this. Homeboy, don't worry about it. We got this. We going to write the whole thing. We got you. So could this have been get back for Erika Kirk? Do y'all think this was a conspiracy? Was this a scheme set up by Todd? Now listen, we gonna see what a couple people is talking about, how they feeling. Like I said, there were people who were not offended. They found this very enjoyable and funny and said, hey, this is all in the name of roast. That's what comedy is. So let's see what the people had to say.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even on the whole, oh, you made this joke, you gotta get canceled. But some of the jokes they was making at the Kevin Hart roast, that shit was not even funny. It's not even like, y'all roasting motherfuckers who not even in the roast. What did George Floyd have to do with the roast? Is that just some shit you thought was funny that, like, it was appropriate to say at the roast? That shit was not funny. Bro said George Floyd is looking up at us, laughing so hard that he can't breathe. This is not your comedy special. What did that have to do with anything? That shit, motherfuckers just say racist shit nowadays and think this shit can be passed off as comedy. Like, this ain't that.
Okay, I'm awake now, and I'm going to talk about this Kevin Hart roast, and I'm only going to say a little bit. It's a roast. Nothing's off limits. All of you out there saying, oh, this is too far, that was too far, this joke, that joke. It's a roast. Nothing's off limits. Everyone got paid. Everyone who was there knew why they were there. And for those of you who are having selective outrage about which jokes were too far or which jokes weren't too far, it's a roast. Your opinion is invalid because guess what? Everyone got paid and everyone went home safe. No harm, no foul.
So the Kevin Hart roast was last night and I absolutely hated all the jokes towards Cheryl Underwood. They weren't funny to me. They were definitely getting very offensive. They quickly went from a joke to colorist real fast. And I'm glad when she got on that mic, when she took that stand, she reminded them like, yo, you in Inglewood. Watch how you talking. You could get dealt with. I didn't like the fact that these jokes were coming from white men. I just didn't like anything about it. Like, let's put some respect on her. And I get it. They are comedians. I'm from the 90s. Comedians could say whatever they wanted to and get away with it. But these jokes just weren't funny. They weren't funny at all. And it's like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing? But she absolutely demolished them. She was one of the best of the night for me. For real. I absolutely feel like Kevin Hart deserved better. I feel like the Tom Brady roast was better. But I totally felt like they should have watched their mouths. Am I wrong to be feeling this way because they're comedians? She was a great sport. I just didn't like what they were saying.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I had to turn that Kevin Hart roast off early last night. I don't know if it's just me, but something isn't right. Like, something isn't right. I love comedy. I watch it all the time. I love to crack jokes. I love dark humor, but I feel like there's a line. And I don't know, man. Something isn't right. Like, I'm just watching the people on the stage, and of course it's very performative. It's a special. So I get, like, a lot of it is scripted, but I feel like I witnessed that dark side of Hollywood that everybody always talks about. It was like watching people attack one another, but they're also in alliance, right? Like, there's a level of understanding, like, no matter what I say tonight, like, this is what you signed up for. This is in good graces. But some of the jokes just went a little too far for me, especially with racism. And it was very uncomfortable to watch. I'm also looking at Kevin Hart from a standpoint of you're creating a space for this to happen, and you're fully indulged into it. Like, you're fully immersed to the point where, I don't know, man, it's like selling your soul type thing. I don't want to go that far. But that's literally the feeling that I got while I was watching that. It's like the level of respect, the morals, the values, all the things that we represent as black people, like, it was traded in for money. Like, it was okay. It was accepted because it's Hollywood and it's entertainment and these are stars and they get paid a lot of money to do what they do at a high level, and everybody's supposed to be okay because they're at a certain status, so they get to say these things. My spirit just didn't rock with it. It wasn't funny. I don't know, man. It was just weird, but maybe it's just me. What do y'all think?
All right, are y'all ready to talk about the Kevin Hart roast, or is it too soon? If you watched it, like, what are your thoughts? I want to know how y'all feel about it. Are y'all butthurt? Did y'all think it was funny? Like, what are you thinking? I'm going to just say this. I got dark-ass humor. I love dark humor. So there were some things where I'm like, hee hee ha ha. And then there was some shit where it was like, that was clever, but like, bro, that was a little bit of a low blow. At first I was wondering, like, with Regina Hall, like, she looked so disinterested, like she didn't even want to be there the whole time. I'm like, why is she on stage? She looked pissed off. But as I looked into it afterwards, I saw that she just wasn't happy with the nature of the jokes. There were definitely parts that, like, weren't funny at all. I love The Rock, but I did not like his part. And Tiana Taylor, what was that? But from the vibe I was catching, they didn't write these jokes, or maybe not all of the jokes, right? And y'all think that was sincere between Kat and Kevin about squashing the beef? I haven't watched a whole lot of roasts, but like on a scale of 1 to 10 for a general roast, I would say I would give it about a 6.5.
So how I felt was the roasters, I feel like, spent more time roasting each other than Kevin, right? Because if you really think about it, they spent a lot of time going after each other. Like, they all went on. Chelsea, Pete, Lizzo, the basketball player, I forgot his name. They was always booing him every time they said his name. Cheryl, like, they were spending a lot of time going after each other. And then when they got to Kevin, it was just little, maybe the short jokes or whatever, or doing a movie that hasn't been funny, or he never done a movie that was funny. They said a couple things about Kevin, but I feel like they spent a lot of time roasting each other, so it wasn't really like a Kevin Hart roast. It felt just like a roast in general for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they went harder on the other people than Kevin. Like, I feel like they kind of took it easy on Kevin. Like, they ain't talk about his affair. Like, when Tom Brady came out there, he said a little bit about the affair. He had a little Vegas joke or whatever. But they didn't really go hard in the paint with that like they could have. You know what I'm saying? And Nico was in the audience, so maybe they didn't want to embarrass her or whatever. I don't know. But they should have went hard with that. They should have went hard with that, with his drunk driving. I think they said that. They brought that up maybe once. But they didn't really go hard on Kevin. Like, they really didn't. Like, they went hard on Flavor Flav's ass. They took it easy on Kevin, and they went hard on each other. That's how I feel. I feel like this roast wasn't a roast on Kevin. He got hit a little bit, but he didn't get hit enough. He didn't get hit enough. The jokes on Cheryl. I feel like with darker complected people, they always get hit with the dark skin jokes. You know, Michael Blackson, he always gets hit with the he's so dark, he's as dark as night, or you can only see them when they smile. You know, they always get hit with the dark skin jokes. So unfortunately, I feel like Cheryl may be so used to that it doesn't really affect her. But the jokes about her husband, I felt like Shane Gillis, the host, he had said something like Cheryl's husband wanted to get away from her so bad that he jumped off a fucking bridge or something like that. And then he said, don't show Cheryl's husband a bridge. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like the way it came out, it was just like, and I know it's been 30 years, you know, but still, that was her husband. And she, you know, she played it off, you know, she said it didn't bother her, whatever, you know, and then she went up there and she got her dig on everybody, you know, but I feel like it really did hit her, but she had to play it off, you know, she had to play it off, and now she's got her own Netflix special. People's feeling some type of way about that. They feel like it was some type of humiliation ritual. Now she got her own special. I don't know. That's another topic for another video. Then we get to Tony Hinchcliffe, and he brought up the George Floyd joke. That is what people are in arms about the most. George Floyd's family has come out. They've spoken out. They're upset with Kevin that he even agreed to the jokes, because I did hear that Kevin approved of the jokes. They were upset that he was laughing at the jokes. Some were saying that was like a nervous kind of, you know, laugh that Kevin did, like what he's supposed to do in that moment. You know, the thing about the George Floyd joke, it's never going to be accepted coming from a white person. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. It's never going to be accepted coming from a white person. I can guarantee you, though, if a black comic would have said something about George Floyd, the effect wouldn't be this hard. I don't think people would be talking about it as much if it came from a black comedian. The fact that it came from a white comedian is what really like amped it up even more. And then we get Cat Williams. Now, I've always liked Cat. I have always been a fan of Cat. I thought his speech was very funny. I feel like he understood the assignment because he was going after Kevin the whole time. To my recollection, I don't think Cat talked about any of the comedians on stage. He might have. I don't really remember, but I feel like the majority of his time up there was spent on Kevin. Now, when Kevin did this little thing at the end with Cat and trying to dap him up and put it in the past and be friends and whatnot, I feel like with him putting Cat on the spot, like, what can Cat do? You know what I'm saying? If he talked, like, if he said, like, nah, then, you know, Cat's gonna look like an ass in front of everybody, which I don't believe Cat would even care. But I feel like they ain't cool. Like, I feel like they ain't cool. I feel like Cat just, you know, since Kevin just did that and it was live, he just went along with it. But I don't think they're cool. At least not on Cat's part. But I definitely feel like on Cat's next special, on his next comedy special, he gonna bring this up. He gonna bring up this Kevin Hart roast. He gonna talk about it, and he gonna say how he ain't cool with Kevin. He just did that shit because they was on live TV. Watch, I'm telling you, he gonna bring it up in his next special, and I am definitely going to watch it. But as far as this Kevin Hart roast, do I think it went too far? Do I think it's all in the name of comedy? It definitely was a way for, because this came from the writers, not the actual people up there. It came from the writers. I feel like this was definitely a way for them to express any type of dislike that they may have had for the black community. This was a way for them to express it without them being labeled as racist. They knew this would be looked at just as a roast. It's just comedy. It's dark humor. So I feel like they took advantage of that and just went all in. You know what I'm saying? They went all in. They tiptoed on the line. They tiptoed on the line. Some say they went over the line. The joke about Kevin being so small they'd have to lynch him from a bonsai tree. The fact that they brought up the word lynching. You don't never bring up the word lynching unless you're talking about black people. When the hell do white people talk about lynching? When do they use the word lynching? For what? For what? The word lynching only comes up when you're talking about racism, when you're talking about slavery, when you're talking about black people. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like they may have gotten out some type of feelings that they may have had, and you know, they were just getting stuff off their chest, and this was a way for them to do it. Them is my thoughts. Y'all let me know down below in the comments how y'all feel. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, to the end of the video, you must have caught a vibe. A what? I said you must have caught a vibe. Okay, all right. So subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.